Class 11, this is the last and most important portion from your first chapter, that is PPF, Production Possibility Frontier. We also sometimes call it PPC, that is Production Possibility Curve. So Production Possibility Frontier or Production Possibility Curve, what does it help you to understand? It helps you to understand how much production is possible for a economy to go for. For example, from the very first video I have been telling you that economics is a study of choice. Why do you need to make the choice? Because resources are very scarce. You cannot put it to every use possible. So you have to make a choice where you are going to use that. That is why, suppose there are whole lot of commodities X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, E, and it can continue. Now all the products, if they are available in the market, then it will be very better for us because we will get a wide range of commodity to choose from. But those persons who are engaged in production of X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, they know that the resources, resource means land, labor, capital, money and materials, which are required for production of almost every commodity. For producing X also you need land to build up the factory, labor to work and make the final product X, capital or the machinery, materials and money. Now production units know, or the producers know, that for coming up with all the products they need unlimited land, labor, capital, machine and materials. But there is these are known as resource or factors of production. There is a limitation of using it because it is not available in plenty, and that is why the production units have to make a choice what commodities production is possible with the given amount of resources. So what are the commodities which we can come up with the given amount of resources? So they have to make a choice what goods have to be produced. Now suppose they are producing B, but B is not demanded in the market. If they come up with the production of B, the customers are very less for who tries to acquire the product B. So there will be less demand. So what will be the end result? They are engaging every resources, bearing the cost of production, making them payment, and later on coming up with a product that is not valid in the market's point of view, that is not able to earn money in the market. So that will be a wrong choice of product to produce. So the production units have to see which are the commodities which are very much demanded. They have to study the market, what is demanded by the consumers. Suppose X and Y are the two commodities which are highly in demand. So the producers can make profit if they are able to come up with the production of X and Y. They will be able to sell it in huge amounts in the market because there is market demand for the product. So they will be engaging in the production of these commodities which will be having a positive end result after production, and they will use all the resources like labor, capital, money, materials in order to make up the two products X and Y. So what we understood, that due to resource limitations, the production of plenty of the commodities is not possible. So the producers have to make a choice of what commodities to be produced. So X and Y are the two commodities we have taken to be produced. Now production possibility curve, while understanding it, we are going for some simplified assumptions. What do you mean by assumptions? Assumption means a slight divergence from the reality. They are giving you a picture of reality, yet not the reality itself. Now in the reality, you know that only XY or two commodities is not produced. There are plenty of commodities produced in the market. But we cannot take all the commodities in our assumption. We are taking that out of so many commodities, only these two are produced. In actual world, what happens? From X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D till I commodities are there. And after making a choice, they are coming up with 7 or 8 commodities. This is the reality. But here what we are doing? We are doing a cutting down. That is, we are thinking that these are the products which could be produced, but the producer have to make a choice and he is only producing the 2 products. So assumption is a slight divergence from reality. We cannot incorporate the reality in our study because our study will be very complex. We want to simplify. That is why we have to take some valid assumptions. Assumptions means they have to be valid also. Number 1, we are taking that out of all commodities, only 2 products can be produced, X and Y. Number 2, 1 unit or factor of production used. That means labor. So what do you mean by input? In order to produce these commodities, you need inputs like land, labor, capital and machineries. Now I am only taking that only labor can be used to come up with X and Y. That means no machinery is required, no land is required, the production is done within somebody's house only. So we are not hiring or going for any land. No machineries is required, it is totally manual. Only labor is the input that is required to produce both the commodities. So that is why I have written only 1 input factor of production used is labor. These are all assumptions. But in reality, do you see that there is only 1 labor, there is only 1 unit that is labor that is used for production. There is involvement of machineries and everything for production purposes. So it's an assumption. We are not taking that any other input is required. We are only thinking that for producing X and Y, we only needs more and more of units of labor. Number 3, 2 commodities produced in different proportion. So X and Y are the 2 commodities and they can be produced in different proportion, means you can get more of X and less of Y, or less of X, more of Y. That means you can produce more of X and less of Y commodity, or you can produce less of X and more of Y commodity. Now why this is the situation? Why can't you go for increase in both? That means with the use of labor, can I not increase the production of both X and both Y? It's not possible. Why it is not possible? Because if you increase the production of both the commodities X and Y, you need more use of labor. And we are taking that labor is constant. Let there be 100 laborers. What do you mean by constant labor? We have already employed 100 laborers for production of X and Y, and we will not increase even 1 labor. So this is the full amount of labor, or full capacity you can call, full capacity of labor that is used, and the full capacity or 100 units of labor can deliver you with the product X and Y, and keeping it constant means keeping it same. Labor's amount is same. You can increase X. If you increase X by using the same 100 units of labor, they will be used for producing X. So less of Y the laborers will be able to deliver. And similarly, if you can reduce the production of X, the laborers will be used in production of Y. So there exists a trade-off. What do you mean by trade-off? Trade-off means you can increase one only by decreasing the production of the other. And this is the situation where both you are increasing. It is only possible if you can absorb more and more labor in the production process. But here we will take that labor, whatever is given that remains fixed. I have just written an example. It doesn't mean that there is actually 100 units of labor. It means that I have taken an example that given there are 100 units of labor, this is the full capacity whom we are involving for the working process. Number 4, law of increasing cost operates. What do you mean by increasing cost? When you go to market, when you buy, suppose this pen, so it costs me 50 rupees. Now when I am going to market and want one extra pen, another 50 rupees will be gone. So if I try to increase the purchase of this pen, the cost gets increases, the purchase price gets increases. Similarly, when X and Y both are produced and you need more and more units of any one commodity, there is increasing cost involved in it. Now here cost is measured in terms of other good. When I am comparing the cost of this pen, I am comparing with a relevant price, that is 50 rupees. If I increase its purchase, the cost will also get increased every time by rupees 50. But here what I am telling, the law of increasing cost operates means if I increase production of X, it will be every time be costly. That means when I am producing 1 units of X, there is a cost. When I am producing 2 units of X, the cost has increased. When I am producing 3 units of X, the cost is increased further. So the cost is changing. Now it is measured not in terms of money, it is measured in terms of how many units of Y is sacrificed. Just now I said that X can be increased only if you can decrease the production of Y, because the same laborers, they are involved in production of 2 commodities. If you want to involve them in increasing X, of course there will be a decrease in production of Y commodity. So what is said that if you involve more and more labors in production of X, you need to sacrifice more and more of Y product. And sacrificing is costly. Whenever we sacrifice anything in our life in general, we feel that it is pinching us, it is costly. Okay, so cost, any kind of cost means pain. Cost is equivalent to pain. So whenever we sacrifice in life, we feel a pain. If we purchase anything with a higher price, we feel a pain or a pinch in our pocket. So when X has to be increased by involving more and more of labor, then Y commodity has to be sacrificed in plenty. So here the cost of X is measured in terms of another product that is sacrificed. This is known as opportunity cost. Opportunity cost means the next best alternative that could have been produced, we are sacrificing, and that keeps on increasing. That means if we involve more labor in producing X, more and more drop will be in the production of Y. So production of X is costly because we have to sacrifice every time more units of Y. And we will assume the fifth assumption is that no change in technology. Now what do you mean by no change in technology? Means no change in the technique of production. So we have started with the assumption that 2 commodities are produced, that is X and Y. For producing X and Y, we are using only one input, labor. That means labor is doing the entire work manually. This is only the technique of producing X and Y. Now suppose if we give the laborers capital or machinery to use in the production of X and Y, that means the technique of production is now changed. With labor we are giving capital, so the productivity will be much more. So we are taking that there is no change in technology, means if only labors were used from before for producing X and Y, only labors are still used. We cannot shift from labor, we cannot shift the entire production to capital. That means only capital is now used for production of X and Y. That means only machine made. So what happens? No change in technology means no change in the technique of production. Formerly we have taken labor is used to make X and Y. The X and Y commodities are totally manually made. So in between our study of PPC, we cannot take that there is a technical shift. That means with labor, some capitals you are giving or machineries you are adding for the production of X and Y. Or removing labor, you are shifting the total production of X and Y by using machineries, because there will be a difference in the productivity of the output involved. That's why. Now we will draw the PPC curve. Now we will draw the PPC. Now you can follow your book. There is one schedule given, production possibility schedule, where they are showing commodity X and Y. These are the two goods to be produced and the different combinations in which they are produced. Okay. Now we will plot the PPC curve. Now this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. You know how we draw the graphs. Now here what we have taken, in the x-axis we have taken quantity of X commodity. So quantity of X commodity produced. And here we have taken in the vertical axis quantity of Y commodity that is produced. Now first observe commodity X0, commodity Y10. What does it mean? That if you engage all the given labors, labor is the only factor of production. If you engage all the labors in producing one commodity, that is Y, what is the maximum amount of Y that can be produced? Y can be produced 10. And since you are not involving them in production of X, the production of X will fall to 0. So if we plot the axis, production of X is this one, quantity of X produced. So quantity of X is 0 means it coincides over here. And Y is how much? 10. So Y is 10. That means this point, where this point indicates that Y is 10 and X is 0. Now if you now want to increase the production of X, that means if you increase the production of X from 0, it will increase, it has increased to 1. Now why you can increase the production of X? Of course you can do it by decreasing the production of Y. Just I said that there exists a trade-off. Trade-off means if you have to increase the production of any commodity, you have to decrease the production of the other, sacrifice the production of the other. Why this happens? Because you are employing limited or given labor. So given labor resource. Resource is already given and it's a constraint. Labor is a constraint. You cannot increase the labor. So with the given amount of labor, the maximum Y production is 10 and X is 0 that time. If you have to increase the production of X, you have to sacrifice Y. So Y decreases and it becomes 9. So there is a loss of 1 unit of Y, that is 9, to increase the production of X by 1. So now X is 1, plot the curve, X is 1 and Y is 9. So these two are the points. Then if I want to increase further X, so X can be increased. So X now moves from 1 to 2. Now what happens? Now Y again, so you are again increasing X and Y decreases. So Y decreases and falls to 7. So you can increase X to 2, then it will result in a decrease of production of Y commodity and it will be 7 units of Y can be produced. So if I plot, I am getting this point. Then if I again want to further increase the production of X to 3, I have to sacrifice y and drop production of y drops to 4. So can you see I am increasing the x by 1 unit every time, from 0 to 1, from 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 to 4. So here I am increasing x per unit, that is 1 by 1. And what I can see that when I am increasing x, there is a drop in the production of y, because the labor is constant. If I am involving them for producing x, there will be of course a drop in production of y. So when x is increased to 3, production of x, production of y falls to 4. Again, when I increase the production of x to 4, my y decreases and it falls to 0. That means the entire labor is being used in the production of x. 4 units of x are produced and the production of y is 0. It coincides over here, because vertical axis, if even y is 1, so it will be over here. y0 means the same point, origin, point of origin. So this is the point where y0 and x is production is maximum. So you can see that when we are drawing these 2 points are the points, we write x coordinate first and then y coordinate. So here x is 4 and y is 0. So if any point coincides with the horizontal axis, it shows that only x is being produced and no y. And if any point coincides with the vertical axis, it shows x is 0 and y production is there. Now, what are these different points? These are the different points that shows what are the combinations, different combinations of x and y production is possible with the given amount of labor. That means we can produce maximum 10 units of y and 0 units of x, or we can decrease the production of y to 9 to produce 1 unit of x, or we can produce 7 units of y and x can be 3 units. So these every points have a marking. See, this point is x production 0, y production 10. X production is 1, y production 9. Here x production is 2, y production is 7. Here x is produced 3 units, y production is 4. And here y production is 0, x production. So what you can see, this gives you the different combination of x and y goods which you can obtain by using the labor force. Now, all these points show you that when you increase the amount of x, the coordinates of x increases 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. What happens? Y keeps on decreasing, 10, 9, 7, 4, 0. And these different combinations are known as attainable combination. That means we can use the labor force in this way. We can increase production of x, decrease production of y, or whatever we can do, but it has to be within this set of combinations. We can go for any combinations, 0, 10, 0 units of x, 10 units of y. We can go for 2 units of x, 7 units of y, but only this many combinations are possible. That means it shows you the production of two goods x and y which are possible. So the locus of these points, locus means the joining line. So if I draw a line that joins all these points, if I draw a line that joins all these points, this is known as the locus. Okay, my drawing is not that accurate. Actually the curve will come like this. After touching the different points, the curve will be a little curvy and not a straight line. So the PPC is the line, or production possibility frontier is the line, or it is the locus. Locus means the joining line which you obtain after joining all the points. So production possibility frontier is the locus of all the different points or different combinations of the production of X and Y. So what is PPC? PPC is the line that joins the different points indicating the different combinations of X and Y produced. So production possibility curve or frontier shows you the different combinations of production of X and Y possible given the resource limited. Now if suppose you are somewhere over here, now what does this point indicate? That you are producing 7 units of Y and not even producing 2 units of X, you are producing less than 2 units of X. That means here you can see the possible combination is 2 and 7. X, when you produce 2, you can produce 7 units of Y by using the labor to its full capacity. That means by full utilization of labor, you can produce maximum 2 units of X and 7 units of Y. So this combination is attainable, and these, the points which lie on the PPC, are also known as attainable points. But if you lie somewhere interior, what does it signify? That you are producing, suppose this point is in between 1 and 2, suppose you are producing 1.5 units of X and 7 units of Y. So you can see that you are producing less than your ability. You are able, by using the labor resource, you are able to produce 2 units of X maximum with a combination of 7 units of Y. You are producing 7 units of Y, but you are producing less of X. That means you are not efficiently using the labor force. You have hired the labor, but it is not giving you the productivity that can be attained. And if any point lies outside, now what does it indicate outside? It means, see here, 9 units of Y is produced and 1 unit of X is produced. But this point indicates with 9 units of Y, you can produce 3 units of X. It's a totally different combination. Your PPC gives you how much production is possible when you know already the resource is given or resource is limited. So you know the production possible is with 1 unit of X you can produce 9 units of Y. But here this point, how I can see, if I draw from here and from here, stretch it, then the two coordinates give me X is equal to 3 and Y equal to 9. So it gives me, it is a point where I can produce 9 units of Y remains same, but I can produce more of X. That is not 1 unit, but I am producing 3 units of X. Now this is only possible if my labor increases, because with the same amount of labor, given amount of resource, my combination which can be attained lies on PPC, and it gives me with 9 units of Y, I can only produce 1 unit of X. So this combination which gives me higher units of X with same 9 units of Y, that means the point is unattainable. Unattainable means with the given setup I cannot attain. But only when I can attain the point if I increase the labor. That means more laborers you have hired, so they will be, of course, be giving you some kind of productivity or output, so they can be used, and instead of 1 unit of X you can get 3 units of X. Or there is a shift of technology. That means the labor is constant, whatever was there, but with labor you are, to every labor you are giving some machineries, that is you are using the machine. So you can go to that point because it will increase the productivity and both the goods can be produced in a higher amount. But change of technology occurs over here. Now you are not producing with only labor. So when there is change of technology, or if the resource is increased, then only you can attain this point. So if labor supply increases or technology increases, you can attain higher points, and what will happen? Your PPC will shift outward. So with change of technology and if labor supply is increased, you can now attain more of both the goods. The assumptions will remain same. If you increase X, Y has to be decreased, everything will remain same. But now you can go for higher combinations. That means here you can produce more of X and more of Y than the previous PVC. So the combination points will be varying, and it is possible only if the technique of production changes or the labor supply is increased. It does not hold constant. Now from here two things can be noted. After the drawing of PPC, two things can be noted, that PPC looks like this. Now what is the slope of the curve? It is downward sloping. Upward sloping curve means like this. So it is a downward sloping curve. So what is the property of PPC? It is downward sloping. And secondly, it is concave. Concave means the bulging portion, it lies outside. Okay, there can be two types of curve. This is known as convex, where the bulging portion lies inside, and there can be this type of curve where the bulging portion or the inflated portion lies outside. So here it is a concave type of curve. Now why this shape takes place? Why it is downward sloping and not upward sloping? Upward sloping means, suppose we are taking X and Y commodity. What does it show? That when X is 1 unit, Y is 2. When X increases to 2 unit, Y is 4. What does it show you? That when you increase the production of one commodity, other commodities production also gets increased. But here what I have said, that when you are producing one commodity, by using the same labor, you have to sacrifice the other commodity. So if you have to, suppose this is Y and this is X, maximum Y and this is minimum of X. 0 units of X and Y is maximum produced. If you have to increase X, you have to sacrifice and cut down Y. So Y is now over here and X increases. So you get a certain point over. So you have increased your X and decreased your Y. So here in the PPC you can see, if you increase this X, you automatically go for a decrease in Y. So two commodities don't increase together. There is a trade-off. If you increase one, then there will be a decrease in the other. That is why the PPC is downward sloping. And why it is concave? Why the shape is not straight line? Why it is bulging? I said that there is increased cost. Increased cost means every time you are increasing X, per unit, that means by 1 unit, the cost of producing X increases, and cost is measured here by the amount of Y that you are sacrificing. So when you are increasing the production of X by 1 unit, you are sacrificing Y only 1 unit. When you are increasing X production from 1 to 2, again increase by 1 unit, you are sacrificing Y from 9 to 7. That means you are foregoing 2 units of Y. And when you are increasing production of X again by 1 unit, 3, you are sacrificing from 7 to 4, that is 3 units of Y. So what can you see? That when you are increasing the production of one commodity, you are sacrificing more and more each time. So that means increasing cost. Sacrifice is costly. When you are producing X, you cannot produce Y. It cannot be delivered. So if you are employing labor into X production, every time when you are increasing X production one by one, you are sacrificing more and more of Y. So for this increasing cost also, the curve looks like concave. Suppose this is the point 0x 10 units Y. Next point, you have sacrificed only 1 unit, that is 9y, and you are producing 1 unit of X. Next point comes over here. So after 10, 9, and then a sudden drop to 7. So you are producing 7 units when you are only delivering 2 units of X. So the curve looks like this, because Y sacrifice is previously less, then it increases, and then it increases further for every unit or 1 unit increase of X commodity. And when you plot the lines, you will get, when you plot the points and draw the PPC, you will get a concave line.